Hey people, Silveus here, back with some more Tibia introductory courses. So last time I showcased Ankh dragons, Anchorman dragons, if you will. They're a pretty good spot for like low-level characters to kind of test some dragon killing. And I also showed off Ancient Scarabs. Ancient Scarabs are pretty profitable, kind of harder for knights to do, but easy peasy for paladins and mages. Notably about Ancient Scarabs are they're a task monster. And tasks are, well, there's a whole bunch of them. And there's also something called daily tasks. I'm going to refer to the basic just killing tasks. They all fall underneath a quest called Killing in the Name of. If you pull out the Tibia wiki, you'll see them there. The main ones are for the Paul and Fur Society. So you get like ranks and stuff like that. There's a bunch to it. In simple terms, a couple of them have, they're all just kill X amount of monsters, alright? And then after you kill the X monsters, I'm going the wrong way. After you kill the X monsters, you get to fight a boss for at least a couple of them. They're like segmented by levels. So the first series of Killing in the Name of quests are, I need to grab some food actually now that I think about it. So the first series of Killing in the Name quests are from levels 8 to 40. Then the next one are from 40 to 80, and then I think it's 80 to 120, and then it's just 120 and up. They're pretty profitable, and if you're just going to be killing monsters over and over again, you might as well kill monsters that count as a task. So Ancient Scarabs are one of the tasks that fall in the 40 to 80 category. I think it's 40. It might be 50, though. I don't know. It doesn't really particularly matter at the moment, though. So anyway, though, point is, those tasks are pretty solid. Ancient Scarabs, as I mentioned during that, is you do get a boss for them. So I'm going to show you another spot for tasking in that level range. I figure that's a good level range to showcase because, for one, the under 40 are a little bit too easy for me at my current power level, so it won't be very meaningful for anybody that's interested in those. Also, at that point in time, things are pretty easy. By the way, real quick, I'm going to another continent city series called Svargrand. It's the icy barbarian Skyrim ripoff in Tibia. So, I don't particularly like Svargrand all that much. The snow slows you down when you walk through it. The layout's kind of a pain, but I'll do a quick run around on it to show it off a little bit. We've got the furniture shop, the bank right here, and the magic shop over here. If you can kind of see on the map, you continue... Oops, I zoomed in too much. You continue down this way, and the boat's down this way. The one thing I like about Svargrand is this diagonal road, though. I think it's just nifty. Hey, look, somebody threw a diamond up there. This is the depot. There is 2 floors of the depot. Boom, boom. Guy riding a panda bear. And if you go up this way, kind of hard to see. Up the staircases here to the right are where the magic carpet is, and then over here is, if you kind of look up here, is where the weapon shop dude is, and then the on and offline trainers. Svargrand is obviously a premium area place. And while we're here, I'm going to deviate and show something that isn't relevant to anything I'm saying, but oh, by the way, that's the temple. This here is a house. House. Let me look at the door real quick. Oh, by the way, when you look at somebody's door, right, it goes, you see a closed door. It belongs to House Spirit Homes 1. Gandalf Stolpscott owns this house. Lord Dust Counter owns this house. It belongs to House Glacier Side 1. Silveus owns this house. This is my beautiful Tibia house. I got my fancy... These are items called Maraclum. I have no idea how that's pronounced. They're dropped by stalkers. My collection of fancy backpacks. We've got... God, I don't even know what half these are. Expedition backpack, Pirate backpack, Crown backpack, Deepling backpack, Minotaur backpack, Gluth backpack, Crystal backpack, Heart backpack, Fur backpack, Moon backpack. My pretty clay statues, my collection of bows. We've got a modified crossbow, an ornate crossbow. My arbalist would go here if I wasn't currently using it. A black skull, and then my bows. Elvish bow, composite horn bow, and my war singer bow. That's like one of the best bows in the game, and I could use it at level 80, except there aren't good arrows for it to use until level 90. And then my 2 beds, and one of my alternate characters is living in there. So anyway, that was just a minor thing there. Anyway, I'm not a terribly big fan of Svargrand. Also, those Huskies, do not kill the Huskies. If you kill the Huskies, you can't deal with the NPCs or something until you pay a fine. Svargrand has some pretty decent, like, mid to high level hunting grounds, so there's a decent amount of people here. The place I want to showcase has a frequency to be botted, which may make this video not terribly great, but we'll deal with it. It's called Nibelor or Nibelor or something like that. It's really hard for me to tell the pronunciations of the places in Tibia. You do have to do a couple of mini quests to be able to get here. You have to high passage, yes man. Yeah, so to get here you have to become a citizen, an honorary barbarian, which involves some annoying quests, and then you also have to do a mini thing for that guy where you go find his sick dog or something like that. So I'm not going to bother killing any of these things. Alright, so far I'm not seeing dead bodies, so this looks semi-promising. Ooh, I'm going to take those lumps of earth. I'm pretty sure those are valuable. Alright, there are 2 monsters in this cave. Ice golems and crystal spiders. Both of those are tasks. These are ice golems. Ice golems are weaker than crystal spiders. They hit pretty hard. They do have a ranged ice attack. And they shoot out a beam that paralyzes if you get hit by the beam. I don't think the beam deals damage. They are semi-tough, though. You do not want to be, especially me as a paladin without a shield. You do not want these guys to be hitting you. I was going to let him hit me. Let me find one. I kind of don't want to let 2 of them hit me. And I also want to see if I can show you the beam. Alright, so 76, 40. I'm pretty confident they can hit more than that. Strange helmet, I think, is semi-valuable. I'll carry it around just in case. I think it's kill 300 crystal, or yeah, crystal. It's kill 300 ice golems, and then you get to fight their boss called Shardhead. Shardhead is, unfortunately, not a particularly valuable boss to fight. He doesn't drop anything all that great. But since 77... Ugh, jeez. Since, the ice golems are here and the crystal spiders are mainly the reason why you want to be here, Shardhead is, you might as well. 46. Also, the ice golems are very valuable. They drop a lot of stuff that can be sold and a decent amount of money. 3 damage, 144. Yeah, see, they hit kind of hard. They do drop potions, which make them also a pretty cool thing to fight. By the way, that little thing you saw over there was the wave. Or the beam that I was talking about that paralyzes. 77, 40. So I think these guys can drop up to around 100 gold per one if you get really lucky. I'm going to stop letting them hit me for a minute. By the way, this cave has another entrance, which is right there. You can see on my map, actually, I have arrows indicating where you can come in, and then an arrow where you can go down. Boop, 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 boop. I think they're immune to holy damage. Yep, they're immune to holy damage, because that was a holy attack I just fired off at one of them. And they're resistant to physical, which makes them not particularly great for knights. They also just kind of have high armor value, and they hit kind of hard. I have not tried fighting these on my knight anytime recently, so to be honest, I don't know how well it will go. But mages should have a pretty easy time, because I know they're weak to certain elements, and as a paladin, it's pretty generally easy too. They drop these ice cubes, which are actually function as like things you can climb up on. They can be sold to other players for a decent amount of money, because if you have an obsidian knife, you can try to carve it into a statue. And you have to successfully carve it, I think, 4 times in a row. As I just not do. The attempt at sculpting failed miserably. I have not done that yet successfully. So on this level, though, is where you get the crystal spiders and the ice golems. And that's where things start getting awesome. Crystal spiders are similar to giant spiders in that they're big, freakish spiders. Ooh, crystal swords are semi-valuable. They're fast, they haste, they have a ranged attack, they're poisonous. They also paralyze, though. And now I have 2 of them on me. You generally, if you can help it, do not want to let them hit you. Obviously different, again, if you're a knight. I find this is a pretty good place to hunt them because you can run them around this little thing here and keep shooting over it. I'll cure my my poison there. All right. Let me loot the first one. I think, compared to giant spiders, crystal spiders are a little bit more defensive oriented. They deal a little bit less damage, but they in turn take a little bit less damage also. And I also think they're a little bit faster inherently, and also a little bit faster when they haste. That smoke cloud that comes out of them is a paralyze. They do have a ranged attack that hits for about a little bit less than 100. Their melee is pretty tough, but not that bad. And then they kind of drop a lot of the same stuff that giant spiders drop. Well, they also drop these nice crystal swords, which I think you can sell to an NPC for around like 500 or something like that. Wow. You do, they're sold to Rashid, that NPC that you have to do a quest for, so it seems like people are just throwing them on the floor here. And I am enough of a cheap money grubber that I will pick them up on my way out. Oh man, look at them all. I'm probably going to come back here and just loot all of them off the floor. They, unlike the crystal golems, are not weak against, or not immune to whatchamacallit. Now here's a trick to hunting them, right? If you get 2 of them on you and they're hasted or something like that, you can just kind of go back up the staircase. You do want to not run up the staircase at super low HP because, you know, there are ice golems around here. So if you pop up with like, you know, 30 HP or something like that, an ice golem can just pop you. Ooh, look, 90 GP on that one. But after a little while, they kind of go back to where they were originally at. At least one of them did. So, and more importantly, you can wait for their... he paralyzed me twice in a row. You can wait for their haste to wear off while you're up there. So that way it's easier to run them. Now, of course, if you're not confident letting them hit you, you do not want to get too far away from that central place. This cave is big enough that there's enough range here where they can poof while you run them. I'm going to use this time ring. Time rings make you go faster and last for 10 minutes. By the way, it doesn't look like anybody's here right now, so I have the cave to myself, which is kind of cool. God, look at all this loot just laying on the floor. By the way, it's kind of like Tibia etiquette to do that sometimes. Like if you're hunting in a spot and you're not picking up certain items that are like considered valuable, most people just throw them on the floor so that anybody else can get them. Likewise, if you've run out of like carrying capacity to carry gold, people just throw their gold on the floor too, as opposed to letting it just decay in the monster's body. Oop, I'm paralyzed and I didn't even realize it. And I'm paralyzed again. And I'm running into a dead end, which is kind of not where you want to be. Luckily, the time ring I'm wearing allows me to easily outrun them. Oh, I ran out of crossbow bolts. Alright. Alright, I just gotta throw the meat down here. Steel helmets are pretty valuable. I think they sell to an NPC for around 300. It's up to you whether or not you take them. Again, I'm going to try to fail at that. God, I suck. I have yet to successfully carve one of them, by the way. Man, look at all these swords. I'm definitely coming back here for all these. By the way, at my level, like, it's kind of unnecessary for me to be, like, penny pinching like this. But I'm saving up for a whole bunch of super expensive stuff, and I don't have, like, I'm not a member of a guild or anything that can hook me up with supplies. Plate armor. So yeah, I'm not like a member of a guild. I kind of play solo, so I don't have a lot of people that are like willing to block monsters for me or something like that as a knight. So legitimately, like, running out of money is a concern of mine. And as I mentioned, I have a whole bunch of expensive stuff coming up. It's soon, so I can't just afford to be like, oh, whatever. I don't need to pick up these semi-expensive items that are just laying on the floor. Hey, Golem. So, if you're staying in the center area so that you can keep going back up that flight of stairs... Oh, he hit me. I didn't mean to let him do that. You can come down in here, and there's a spider that spawns in here, and there's a spider that spawns in here. Those are both kind of safe enough that you can pull them. You do want to be a little careful, because there's a spider that respawns in this area, kind of right where I'm standing. You want to make sure they're not double spawning on you. And that's, again, if you're being, like, overly cautious and you don't want to let them hit you, which is kind of a good thing to consider in the first place. By the way, this item here, I got a shard, is around at, like, you know, the price of shards actually varies heavily on your world. On Olympa, I'm pretty sure they're not all that expensive. So they're approximately, like, 2,000 gold. I think other servers, though, they're a little bit more money. In fact, actually, a lot of my pricing knowledge comes from just Olympa, and it's very different on Olympa. Olympa has a lot lower prices for a bunch of things like that. And I'm not sure why that is exactly. So it's unfortunate when you're looting those things and then you're selling them for practically nothing, but it's kind of cool when you're not looting those things and you're buying them. Crystal rings can be sold to that NPC, Rashid, for, I think, like 250 gold. Now, over here is kind of far enough away that if you're running to that the stairs, things can get hairy. So if you're trying to stay by the stairs, you probably shouldn't go this far. But I'm just gonna, you know, show it off. Mana potion. See, this is what makes these guys awesome. You can actually, if you do it right, you can leave this place with more potions than you came in with. Now, that spider that was down here usually is kind of more over there. And that spider is also usually a little bit more north, too. But this is good, because there's actually, in that more northern section, there's two spiders, and you kind of don't want both of them on you at once. Mages might be different, because they can use, like, area effect runes and stuff like that, and kind of, like, get a whole bunch of things on them at once, and then blow them all up. And usually there's a second one in here. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Alright. So we can kind of loop up here, just so that everybody can kind of keep their bearings. By the way, Frosty Hearts are valuable too. I think they sell for like 280 gold to an NPC in Edron. So yeah, just so that everybody can kind of keep their bearings, I'm going to loop back so that you can see where I'm at with the stairs. So here we are. Here's the stairs. Alright, so now I'm going to go back up. I'm going to reload my crossbow bolts while I'm at it. So I just came through here. We're kind of going into the northern end of this spawn. And now I have two spiders on me. Although I think I outran the one, so now I really only have the one on me. Ice cube, so I can fail on it. Failed. If only I could somehow, like, bottle my failure and sell it as, like, a weapon, I'd be rich. This is not a terribly good block to run them around because you can't shoot through it. And as a general rule of thumb, trying to run monsters around something that's only one spot big is a pretty bad idea. Oop, he outsmarted me there. Oop, and I got another one on me. The most valuable things these guys drop, though, are spider silks, which, again, Kind of their price varies on worlds. And then they also drop knight armors and knight legs, I think. Those are relatively rare drops, though. But those are minimum of 5,000 gold to an NPC. But you have to do a different quest to be able to sell to those NPCs. It's called the Djinn Quest, and the Djinn Quest is annoying because there's 2 different factions, and you can only do one on a character. And what items they buy is not the same. So I think knight armor goes to the green Djinn faction. I think. So if you do the green Djinns, which are also called the Ifrit, something like that, you can't do the blue Marids, something like that. So it's kind of like you gotta trade. It's a trade-off. You gotta figure out which one's most important to you. By the way, one thing about this cave, the snow slows you down, but the ice is actually like good walking spot. So when you're on the ice, you go your normal like paved road speed. So when you're trying to run the monsters, try to stick to the ice, and if you can maneuver them in such a way so that they go across the snow, you'll be even better off. See how like I just went through the middle of that though? And you can kind of be like, because monsters will usually try to take the shortest path to you, so a lot of times they'll walk on the snow. However, like right here, for instance, the monster will be smart enough to go one spot north and walk across the ice as opposed to going over the snow. So, continuing on, if you're staying by the stairs, you definitely don't want to go all the way up to that northern area I just went to. By the way, we're back at the stairs. Crystal ring. Boop. And another steel helmet. And then for when you go this way, you don't want to go all the way down here either, but to about where I'm currently standing is fine. You can kind of get this guy here too. There's a spider coming at me from down. There we go. Oop, I got 2 of them on me. I'm pretty sure they'll run through firewalls, so firewalls are not a viable way to keep them off of you. But I think they won't run through energy walls. So if you want to use energy walls, you can do that. A downside to energy walls is that they cost more money than fires. I didn't even click on his name. I wasn't attacking him. Yeah, they cost a little bit more than firewalls, and they don't last as long. And to me, that's kind of a huge negative. You can't just plop down one firewall and like run 4 of them back to it. Ooh, spider silk is that expensive item I was talking about. Oh, I didn't kill him before he hit me. That's a disappointment. So already this has been a very profitable hunt for me, even if we discount the massive amount of swords that are just laying on the floor. So those 2 spiders were kind of as far as you would want to go this way if you're trying to stay towards the stairs. Any more and they'll start like puffing if you try to run them back to the stairs, and also any more if they haste and start paralyzing you, you're not going to make it to the stairs. You do get pretty decent EXP here too. And the things respawn pretty quickly. So you could kind of hunt in this cave with another person. Like that guy could take over like 2 sides or something, and you could take over 1 side. The cave's not really big enough for you to hunt with more than 2 people. Although I have been here before with 2 other people, and it kind of sucks. To be fair though, both of those people were bots, so I kind of just used them as like knights to block for me. So I'd like let them walk into a room and get 3 things on them, and then I would just attack whichever one they weren't attacking, so that I would get the experience from that one. Anyway, oop, that one's already hasted. After you kill, I think it's 300 crystal spiders, you get to fight Bloodweb, and Bloodweb is one of the more valuable bosses. Sort of. She's not as valuable. If you look on the wiki, it'll say the most valuable ones are Fleshcrawler and Ribstride, who's a monster called a Bone Beast. The reason why they're most valuable is because both of them drop a single item that you can sell for tons and tons of money, but it's a rare drop. On average, like if you're only going to run 1 boss twice or something like that, 2 runs of Bloodweb will get you more money than 2 runs of Fleshcrawler or 2 runs of Ribstride. But if you're going to do like, let's say 50 runs, which you kind of can't do, but we're just saying like hypothetically, 50 runs of like Rib Stride or 50 runs of Flesh Crawler are going to get you more money unless you have horrible luck. Reload my crossbow bolts. So yeah, worth mentioning is you can repeat the tasks up to 3 times. So you can do the ice golems and crystal spiders tasks 3 times each, which lets you kill Bloodweb 3 times and lets you kill Shardhead 3 times. However, I did not do this right. Oh, I'm doing this even worse as we progress. And up the stairs. Alright. As I was saying, like, there's a maximum kind of rank, and when you do these things, you also rank up in the Paw and Fur Society. And that's relevant because... Ooh, Glacier Mask. Now that's an expensive item. I think that's a 2,500 item. Let me just kill this guy first before I try to articulate my thoughts. There we go. Wow, this is like really profitable for me so far. And I'm kind of running out of carrying capacity. What do I do about this situation? I guess I throw one of these crystal swords on the floor. Free up a little bit. Alright. There's like minor rewards to ranking up in the Paw and Fur Society. You can sell like certain items to the NPC. In Port Hope, you can take boats to like kind of dungeons that you would normally have to walk to. You can sell other items to the guy after a while and things like that. So, however, you can only rank up, I think, like twice or 3 times. I think it's twice when you're still in the level 40 range. So when you're still in that, each time you rank up, you get like these Fur and Paw Society points. And then eventually, like, you rank up and you get the next, like, series of benefits to the faction and so on. But when you max your rank at 2 in that level 40 range, when you complete a task after that point, instead of getting society points, instead you get what's called a boss point. And the boss point you can just exchange to kill any one of the bosses that you currently have access to. So you theoretically could do Rib Stride more than 3 times, for instance, if you wanted to. You would just have to do the Bone Beast task 3 times so that you could fight him naturally 3 times, max rank yourself, and then do any other task, including the tasks that don't give bosses. So for instance, at this level range, there's a task for a monster called a Mutated Tiger. You can do the Mutated Tiger task and then get a boss point, and then use your boss point on Flesh Crawler or Rib Stride if you wanted to. Furthermore, I don't know how important this is to certain people, but Tibia has like an achievement system where you can get achievements and they have like a point value. So when you're on the forums or people are like looking up your character, you can choose to display whichever achievements you think are like the coolest. And it also showcases your total point value of all achievements that you've accrued. So killing any of the bosses is an achievement that's specific to that boss. So if you wanted all the achievements, you would have to kill at least each of the bosses at least once. So I'm just kind of, doing this little loop here. And I got a spider on me. Boop, boop, boop. I profited really hard here as a paladin. Supposedly mages are supposed to be really good here, but I don't know about knights, because again, I said these are kind of more like defensive monsters, and that's a problem for knights. Also, at least the ice golems hit like pretty heavy in melee. I hate not being able to loot a body right away. Rung around the rosy. Oh, he got me. Pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. On a side note, I'm hungry. I don't know if you can hear my stomach rumble every now and then. I have not eaten in a while. Jeez. Yeah, the ice golems are kind of like meh. Spectral scum are invading the towns. Yeah, it's lame. Knight armor, ice cube. There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. So the ice golems are kind of like an annoyance here more than anything else. By the way, here's what knight armor looks like. Woohoo! They do drop like money though, but just as like they're a significantly lower level monster than the crystal spiders. You can see it even in the XP I'm getting, like 1300 versus 400. However, that does not mean under any circumstances that you can just discount the existence of the ice golems. They do hit hard, and if you allow them to like surround you or get one of them on you while you're with the spiders, you can quickly end up taking a whole lot more damage than you would like to take. Even their ranged attack, while they don't do it all that often, does kind of add up that extra 70 damage every so often. So it is a like kind of concern that you have to be. You cannot just be like, oh, it's fine, I'll just ignore them. Alright, since I'm basically filled with Capra at this point, I'm going to head back. Man, I'm gonna throw gold on the floor. It hurts my soul. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna come back after I drop this stuff off and loot all this crap that's laying on the floor. It hurts my soul to leave valuables behind. I was planning on showing a little bit more in this video, but I'll just leave this Let's Play as just specifically Nibelor. Yeah, I still don't know how half these places are pronounced. Svargrand, Dharma, Anchorman, Tequanda, Chor, Banatwa, Zao, Zudabudabu. I don't know. Alright, so I'm gonna head back. You have to go. There's no reason that I should have walked through the snow here, by the way. It's this guy. And you just say hi to him, and then passage, and then he takes you back after you say yes. One minor point is, see this little crack right here? You can use a pick on it, and it opens it up there, and then if you have a fishing rod, you can fish there. And unlike when you fish in water, where you can only get normal fish, like these fishies that are right here, 8 of them, in fact, you can get like rainbow trout or green perch, and I think there's another fish called a northern pike you can get. Northern pikes are actually really expensive. They're like 16,000 gold or something like that. So they are worth fishing there, especially if you need to get food. Alright, deposit my gold. Gotta drop this stuff off in the depot, and then I'm gonna just go back there, but I'm gonna end my video here. Since I had planned to do more, though, I am going to just do another video afterwards. But for now, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, favorite, click on ads. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in.